Welcome to the Hermit Style Podcast with your hosts, Jimmy Bacon and Mike Runchuti. Talking all about the Dragon Ball Super Card Game, presented by Team TCG Mafia and produced by Lobat.
Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Jimmy here, got Mike with me yet again.
Yep.
We got an awesome episode today. We got a new format coming, so I'm pumped.
Oh yeah, set 11. Let me tell you guys, I was looking at some of the cards today. I got my cases early for pre-sales, my stuff ready, and I was like, man, these are some nice looking cards.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped. I'm bummed you didn't bring any over. I really wanted to see them.
Tomorrow during testing. I got you.
Cool. But yeah, we're going to go through some of the things coming up. We're going to go through pre-release, talk about cards that we like for pre-release, some strategies we like for this pre-release if you're competing in your shop's tournament. We're going to talk about our main topic, which is our favorite cards from the set. We decided to go through each color, so we'll pick one card of each color that are our favorites and then go into our picks of what we think the best decks are going to be or some of the best decks for the format. And then, of course, we're going to wrap it up with our results of training, all of our play testing for the week, and any mail that we got. So, yeah. And we have segments now. Check this out.
News from the Lookout.
Oh,
Hey.
that's pretty good.
All right. So, news. Mainly, we're going to use this segment to talk about pre-release because that is the most up-and-coming thing for everybody.
That's with everything going on this week, right? It's pre-release. So, again, the set, because, I work at a shop and I do all the Dragon Ball stuff for the shop. Again, there's no kits. Like, I wish they'd bring the kits back like they used to have, where you got the 6 packs, the stamped cards in a little box. I thought that was cool. Now it's just, they're going to open a booster box. So it feels like you could get screwed a little more when it's like this, because somebody's going to get the good stuff out of the box. And somebody's going to get the bad stuff.
It seemed like they had better ratios, too, when it was the kit.
It did have better ratios.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. I used to open the whole thing, anything extra we had, and, use it for sale. It was so many juicy cards in there. You're like SRs for days. Each box, not the individual box you get, but each box that you would get had at least an SCR in it. Like, that's insane. There's 8 kits in there, and there's an SCR guaranteed in there. So that's not, that's way better than what we got going on now. Now you're probably one person, 2 people getting SPRs, and somebody might not even get an SR because the SR numbers are so low.
Yeah. If you do decide to do any of the pre-release stuff, most likely what your shops are doing, you'll have to see what's going on in your area, but they're either doing the actual tournament, if you guys are having in-person tournaments, or if they're not, still reach out to your shops, because a lot of shops are doing little pre-release take-home kits, so that way you can still sell the product.
Yeah. Also, there's this dope 2-player mat that's in there. I don't know how stores are going to distribute it. I don't know what they got going on with it, but man, it's the Vegito and the Frieza from the structure decks from set 10. It's a 2-player mat of those, the paper play mats that came in them. So they're on rubber. I was like, damn, this shit's nice. I don't know how stores.
You like it?
I do like it a lot, actually. We're going to use it for the Broken Honor YouTube testing page. So when we're testing, we're going to play on that. So I liked it a lot.
I'll be the Debbie Downer. I don't like it. Too much going on. I hate when they put the areas on it too. It's just, I don't know. I don't like
it
the
for
mats.
my personal use, like while I'm playing in tournaments, but I like it for like video content wise.
Yeah.
So anybody could just come in.
I don't like it. I mean, it's okay, I guess, if you really like Vegito or Frieza. But.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of character. I just like the zones, and I like the colors, but, is what it is. I'll probably still be playing on my Claws playmat.
But for the pre-release kit, we've got what comes in there, whether you go to your shop or whether you don't. What they have on Bandai's website is you get the full version of the SS4 Son Gohan leader card. It's a promo. And you also get a full version of the Piccolo Unison card. It looks like there's 8 of each in the pre-release kit. And then there are 8 pre-release packs with 2 cards in a pack, and those are most likely your stamp cards, the foil stamp cards.
You get 8 of them?
It says there's 8 total in the kit, and then 2 per pack. So I'm assuming it's just however your shop decides to distribute them.
Okay.
But that's what actually comes in the kit that the shops get.
That sounds insane.
Yep. And then there is it says for top 1 out of 8. So I guess for everyone in top 8. I'm not sure. Maybe you know more, but it says top 1 out of 8 foil and full art version of the SS4 Son Gohan leader card, and then same thing for the Piccolo.
Oh, I say.
So is that 1 for everyone in top 8?
I think that's 1 for everybody. The first person out of every top 8. So if you have 8 people, it should be first place. You have 16, it should be first.
Okay.
And second.
Okay.
I only broke open the boxes for pre-sale stuff. I did not mess with those other boxes, so I'm gonna have to go in there tomorrow and take a look at that and see what's going on. I didn't realize all that was in there. There was these other 2 boxes that weren't like the normal boxes, but we also didn't get everything, so I think some more should be showing up tomorrow.
Okay. But yeah, so that seems pretty cool at least. If you are doing a pre-release tournament, you're likely doing one of the limited formats. So you got a 40 card deck. You can't run out of cards in your deck. Let's talk about some of our favorite strategies going into that tournament. What do you think that people should be looking for, staying away from?
After considering the fact that you may not open blue cards, SS4 Vegeta is probably not the best bet because if you open Vegeta but you don't open blue, you can't really use Vegeta to his fullest ability. But I do think Xeno Goku is probably the safest bet. You don't care what cards are in your deck. You just make a deck that plays cards. The leader's a double strike leader. You're guaranteed to steamroll people with that. And when I was opening the packs, I noticed there's a lot of Overwhelm cards in the packs at the common and common and uncommon rarity level, which means that you'll be able to utilize his effect, maximize off of it. Because you have, so let's say you have 4 Overwhelm cards that are uncommon that you open in your 6 packs, then you open 3 of the commons. That's 7 turns you've covered right there in a limited format. Seems good enough for me. And then also I like the Gohan Higher Dragon strategy also because he's just attack, draw a card, take a life. And then on the back you can just play the 1-drops. And there's 2 different 1-drops in yellow. So that's pretty good. And also you also have Goku and Vegeta who are 1-drops also in this set. So you should have an abundance of 1-drops to play off his effect. You may not have the monster if you don't get the Hero Dragons, but you still get the play the 1-drops, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I think it also depends on just what you pull. There's so much synergy within each color, and Dragon Ball especially. It makes limited formats a little harder. You really have to pay attention to what you pull and really pull out those cards that feel more like they can be splashed in any deck and look at what leaders you have. But that being said, if you end up pulling a bunch of the Garlic Jr. stuff,
well, you're in there. That stuff's broken.
If you pull well with that, I would definitely just shoot in that route. But overall, also pay attention to just your colors. You're going to have to play more than one color. I used to play a lot of limited in another game called The Spoils. And the major thing that I saw a lot of people make mistakes on as they were trying to enter even just like smaller tournaments like locals is they would throw these cards in their deck that they were probably never going to get to. So just because you pull a good card doesn't necessarily mean you should throw it in the deck, even if it's of your color.
Yeah.
Pay attention to specified cost and things like that. The low specified cost is always best, and super combos are also typically universal. So
also, if you get that 7-drop SS4 Goku, you probably just win if you can play it in your deck.
That's true.
In a limited format, blow up an energy when you play it, and then there's no removal in set 11 for it. So you're about to blow up 2 energy. I mean, that difference you put between you and your opponent is probably too much to handle. It's probably nothing in constructed, but in limited, I feel like that's just too much pressure. And probably if you open it, you win.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you pull just those big boss monsters and you have a way to play them to the board, there's no problem just building a strategy around that. But yeah, so aside from that, with pre-release strategy, just cards that you want to look out for just to have for the set, because I think a lot more common people will just sign up for the tournaments to get the cards. So a lot of times people don't play. At least that's how it is in our area.
Yeah, I say we haven't fired the actual tournament since set 5 maybe.
Yeah,
it's been a long time. People they want their packs and they want to buy their boxes and start working on their next deck.
Yeah, I really wanted to play in one for set 9, I think it was. And there were only 4 out of, I think, 16 that wanted to play.
Yeah. They never want to play, man. It's like, yeah. I don't know. I generally don't want to play them, to be honest. Just not because I don't think they're fun. I just think a lot of people suck at it, and that ruins the fun. So, playing limited against people who are bad at limited is not fun at all.
That, and also Dragon Ball just really isn't built for limited.
Nah.
They do not build these sets with a whole lot of limited in mind. Other card games do, and they're a lot more fun. Limited is usually one of my favorite formats in most games, and in this game I don't enjoy it nearly as much.
I agree. I mean, I suck at like MTG limited, but I do enjoy playing it.
So we'll talk about some cards to look out for right off the bat at pre-release that you might want to snag because you might be able to get them a little cheaper that we're predicting are either going to pretty much stay the same value or they're going to shoot up in price.
First one, I'd go with Dark Broly, the 6-drop. The reason why I put it there is its pre-sale price right now on TCG Player isn't very high, but it's staple for the Dark Broly deck. And then, like, it's opening 2 cases today. I opened 4 total. One case had 1, the other case had 3. That's a very low amount. So 2 cases to get a playset of this card. I mean, I think I saw it for 12 last time I looked. I would pick those up at 12. Like, there's no way that Dark Broly is that bad that this card goes down. So it either stays at 12 or it goes up.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a really good pickup. I know we also talked about the Baby Trunks Unison, picking that up off the bat. I don't think there's enough hype on it.
I think that card's amazing. It's a +2. You know, +2 is already powerful in this game because anytime something's +2, that's 2 attacks that it gets to survive, or a double strike it gets to survive, and then it draws a card. Soul Striker, we've noticed people started playing it like at online events. The 1K that happened in New Jersey, people have been on Soul Striker. Well, this card is infinitely better than playing that Goku Black card, so I expect to see that card put into that deck as a 4 as their main unison.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, the interesting thing about that card and Dark Broly, they don't have SPR versions. So, like in set 10 where you had all those SPR cards, like Zeno dropped down to being a $5 SPR at one point because this is
so cheap. Because
there's 2 SPRs per box now, and you also have the SR version. So these cards that don't have an SPR version, you can expect them to rise. Like Mecha Kabura rose up. It was like 15 on release. And it went up. Dormant Potential was 17 on release. And we saw that card get as high as $39. So these are the cards you want to get. These SRs that don't have an SPR print, they're guaranteed to go up if they're even remotely playable.
Yeah, I agree. Another card that I'm looking to pick up a playset quickly is the SS3 Son Goku Overflowing Spirit, the 2-drop.
Oh yeah, that card's cool. I don't know if there's a place for it right now, but I was telling Jim before we started, I think it's like Bunny Girl. It's a card that you want to hold on to because it's so powerful.
You just pick it up cheap.
And you pick it up cheap. Like, you could probably pick that card up for $4 or $5, and then I don't know 2-3 sets from now, this card's going to be like $20, $30 because that's just the nature of this game.
Yep.
So you'll be kicking yourself if you don't pick them up now because to counter and then be able to pick up a unison from the drop. That thing's powerful. Or bounce your unison back to your hand because
that's what I was going to bring up. Bouncing that to your hand could be crazy.
And there's some unisons you probably want to bounce to your hand at times. Like
right.
I can think of a couple. I wouldn't mind bouncing the SS4 Goku unison back to my hand right now. It makes your opponent pick their board up and they can't attack unless they sacrifice. So at that point, I'm safe from attacks for the most part. So picking this card up don't sound bad.
Yeah, and it should be cheap. So I'm definitely picking it up. I mean, there's a chance that even just next set, set 12, it's just bonkers.
Yeah. I say let there be a 2-drop that has an on-play effect that's real good.
Exactly. And you just recycle it.
Just keep on looping it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what else. The Dark Broly Unison.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that card does have SPR version, but the SPR version compared to the SR looks so much better. So I just picked the SPRs up like right away. That's more of a, this card looks better this way, so I expect there to be a price gap between them as the format goes on.
Yeah. I just think overall it's just going to be a great unison for a lot of green decks.
Oh, yeah. I think it's an auto-include. I have been arguing that Cooler was better ever since they debuted the card, but I'm not necessarily sure Cooler's better. It's more of what are you trying to do?
Exactly.
And I'm probably playing both in the same deck. Like, in what world am I not playing that card?
A lot of value out of that card, so I'm definitely going to pick that up, but that being said, you have to buy smart though. If you see these pre-release prices going sky high, don't buy into that because what you'll see is right off the bat you might be able to pick up some of these cards that aren't as hyped up cheap. Mm-hmm. Get them then, and if they get hyped up or we're wrong and they just start off high, just wait.
Oh yeah.
Because if you look at the auction pages for the first couple of weeks, it's insane.
Yeah, I'll be up there. I just gotta catch it.
And I think a lot of it is just because it takes a little bit longer for everyone else to get their product. So by the time Game Nerds and all those bigger companies get their cards out, we're talking now you're so far into the set, all the pre-release cards, everything people had when they went and picked up from their local stores, it's all gone.
Oh, yeah.
And then the market gets flooded after that, and you see prices start to drop, and then just the good decks, you see those cards, they rise. So just buy smart. If there's a deck you want to play, pick it up when the cards are low, either right off the bat or once the market gets all the cards in after pre-release. I think the only other card that we want to talk about was the Baby Golden Ape.
Oh, yeah, pick those up. Out of 2 cases, we got 6 in the store. So that's not too bad. 3 per case. Okay, I can accept that. But it's a 4 of in the deck that's played in for sure. So I would imagine the value on that card is going to go up to at least $20. And then on top of that, I think this baby deck is so hyped up. Everybody wants to play it. If you could just get it as soon as possible before the hype spike, because next week with the PPG tournament they're having down there, their case tournament, people are going to want to play whatever deck does well. We can bank on Baby doing well. It's a play style that most people have never played against because we don't have any decks like that, really. It's overwhelming when someone plays it. Like, I don't know. If you read the card, you're like, oh, that's a lot going on. And it can be played as early as turn 4. So I think you should pick it up because it's going to go up due to the fact that we're going to see it top.
Right.
If it doesn't top, of course it goes down, but
it's going to top.
It's going to top.
It's going to be in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, those are our picks for some cards to look out for on pre-release. So if you're interested in any of those, try and pick them up quick while the prices are low. And if not, just wait it out and prices will, like we said, they'll go down. But we're going to get into what our favorite cards are from the set of each color.
Turtle School Weekly Focus.
Woo!
All right, so what color you want to start with?
We'll start with red.
All right.
You want to go first? You want me to?
You go first.
I go first. Okay. All right. So my pick for my favorite red card in set 11 is Bardock Strategic Mind.
Why you pick that one?
All right. So hear me out. Okay. Bardock Strategic Mind, any red deck that is playing a Unison card that has some boss monster effect, you put him in play, he has Deflect, you cannot interact with it, and adds 3 markers.
Yeah.
Whether it's good immediately, probably not. But the value you can get out of this card just feels insane, and the potential setups you can get just feels insane. Like this is one of the cards I'm looking to pick up right away. I didn't talk about it in the last segment because I want to talk about it now. Yeah. But Unison's already your opponent can't interact with. So now I already have this win con that there's limited interactions, and in addition to that, I have a card with Deflect that's adding those 3 markers to my Unison.
Yeah, he does go well with the Go Tanks because if you're playing that Gogeta, you could play the Veku, give it a counter. It's at 3. Play the Bardock the following turn. Now it's at 6. And that might just be game.
Exactly. And, I don't know. I just think that it could be really good for again, any deck that's playing like a Unison boss monster. As long as he can set it up properly, the plays with it could be crazy. So.
That was also my card, but seeing how you chose that one, I'll go with my runner-up. My runner-up is actually Planet Vampa. I know you guys are probably like, that's just a common. Sure. But the value you get from it is Self-Awakening, playing key cards to the deck, like the strategy. I think that's powerful. I think it is what makes the Broly deck playable. Without that card, you're in a bad spot. It lets you get 2 chains going at one time. I can't imagine the deck only playing 1 chain at a time. So I think Planet Vampa is that good. It's you need 2 chains going. You go to 1 into 3, swap to the 4. Okay, now the other one can go to the 3 for free. You just get to move along. But without Planet Vampa, you'll never get there because you can't expect to play 2 1-drop Brolys. Even if you could play 2 1-drop Brolys, why do I want to pay 1 energy for the second one when I have an ability that self-awakens me to help me get to my 20k crit draw a card side? So I'm all about the Planet Vampa as my red card, seeing how I couldn't pick Bardock.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad I stole your pick. I really did not think you were going to go with that.
What did you think I was going to pick?
I don't know. We haven't really talked about red as much, so I didn't know. I did not expect that you're going to... We talked about it before. You didn't sound very excited about it. So.
Yeah, because red's so art-type lot. It's like...
Right.
Oh, you're either playing Gogeta or you're playing Broly. There's no like, oh, this could be used in this deck. It's pretty locked in.
Yeah, a lot of this set is too. So that makes it a little bit harder to pick. but I felt like that card was more universal. So, all right, we're on the same page. All right, you want to do blue?
Yeah, I'll do blue. My blue card is actually gonna have to go with. Cause I know I've talked about SS4 Vegeta a lot, and he has that crazy 6-drop, but that's not my card. My card is gonna be the Baby Trunks Unison. I think that.
Ooh, okay. I did not see that one.
There's several decks that are blue decks that could use that card. Plus 2 draw a card. That's pretty good. I mean, I don't know. There's no other really effect that does that for blue. It's letting you draw this card, but his neg effect is insane. Neg 5, I get to play counters for free until the end of my opponent's next turn. That means I'm playing the Golden Ape. That means I'm playing Trunks Heroic Prospect for free. I'm playing whatever I want for free. And my leader is huge now. So it's to me it's got the ceiling. Like, well, that Vegeta card I wanted to say, but it doesn't have the same ceiling this Trunks has. This Trunks is a game winning card versus that Vegeta is I don't know. It's just good, but it's not winning anything for you. It's just a blocker. It's a 30K blocker.
Okay. All right. No, I like that. So it's really fun. So this is crazy because you can see on my phone, I also was tempted to go with, here, I'll show it to the camera if you can see it. I was also tempted to go with the SS4 Vegeta.
Yeah, you read the card, it's just like, man, this card is so good when you read it.
Right. I didn't go with it though.
Oh.
So that was my runner-up. Part of me thought that you were going to pick it because how much you talked about it.
Yeah.
The other part of me, I just didn't want to pick another SR. But my pick is Gotank's Return of the Reaper of Justice.
Oh, is that the free play?
It's the free play 3-drop. Yeah. I have these like reminiscent feelings of set 3 with Shugesh and Kitku.
Yeah.
It's like your opponent goes for game, they combo out their hand, and it's just like, nope, Shugesh, Kitku, and that's it. Gotenks it's the same thing. You bait your opponent in and you play it down. If your opponent's good, they can never actually combo out on you.
Oh yeah, I really like that card a lot. I'm like, I like it, but it sucked that it had to be played in blue, like a blue leader deck. Like you need it to be. With
it has to be a mono blue Saiyan actually.
Yeah. So yeah, mono blue Saiyan, which most of the blue leaders are Saiyans.
Yeah, you're just cutting out like Zamasu.
Yeah,
but no, I like it a lot. And honestly, if you think about it, it is locked to the blue Saiyan leader, but I think this is actually more universal than a lot of the cards you can pick out of any color of this set.
Oh yeah,
because
for sure.
There's so many cards that are locked to an archetype just itself, where this is just blue Saiyan. So I mean, you've got SS3 reboot, you got the new SS4 leader, you've got Soul Strike, you got Vegito,
you got explosive power Vegeta, the Universe 7 anniversary box leader.
Anniversary box. Yep.
There's a lot of hype on that going on in the discussion group. I don't know. I haven't tried it out. I'm gonna try it out. I want to know if it's real or not.
All right. So then that was my pick for blue. Let's move on to green.
All right, you start with the green.
Okay. All right. So my pick for green is, we've already talked about it, the Dark Broly Overwhelming Evil Unison. This card just feels insane to me. It gives you a lot of different options, especially I really. Like you guys, if you've listened to the podcast, I've been testing the starter Frieza a lot, and this gives me not only another option, but a little bit of a different play style, and that really excites me. If you don't know what the Dark Broly Unison does, it does, I think, a million things. One, it has double strike, so just the fact that it's a 3-drop Unison with double strike and 20k, that is going to be a pain for your opponent to clear. We've seen that already with Jiren. It sucks to clear that card, so now every turn I can pressure you with that double. Additionally, you've got when a marker is removed from it, so if they do try to kill it, you can rip a card out of your opponent's hand.
I think it has to be removed by a skill, though, right?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, so yeah, you're right. So I'm that's my fault. So yeah, it is removed from a skill. But if it is removed from a skill and they're trying to remove it that way, you can rip a card out of your opponent's hand. It has a -2 effect where you may choose one card from your hand and discard it. If you do, your opponent also chooses one card from their hand and discards it, and then chooses one of their battle cards and KOs it.
That's not bad.
So you have board control and hand control on the same card, and you can really dictate how you want to play the game. You can push more aggressively if you need to, or you can sit back and play the hand control game if you need to. And then lastly, my favorite effect on this card is choose up to one of your opponent's Unison cards and remove a marker from it. Anything at this point that lets me interact with someone's Unison card, I'm all in.
Oh, yeah.
Unisons are just insanely strong. They're taking over. They took over this format that we've seen. So if I can interact with that in a very simple way, I'm in on it. So
Yeah, I think that, that's going to be overlooked. People don't really realize like how little that interaction we get with Unison. So cards that have other good effects, I'm interested in.
And in my opinion, having a 20k Unison is a way that you're interacting, because now my opponent has to combo up on me.
Mm-hmm.
So if they want to kill this Unison, they either have to use a skill and rip a card, or they have to rip a card anyways to combo up on their 15k, whatever they're swinging with.
All right, I'm with you on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and go. I actually hate the color green this set. I think green is terrible overall. People have been telling me about the Majin Vegeta deck. I'm like, I look at the cards. I'm not seeing it. I see that it has potential, sure, but I'm not seeing how like this is something so good. And then I look at the Gotenks leader, and he's amazing, but his archetype is terrible.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and say I think the best green card in set is Videl, a hero's daughter, actually.
Really?
That's gonna be my green choice. Like, I don't like the SRs like that. I mean, Dark Broly obviously is great. He already said it. Can't pick what he chose. So I'm gonna go Videl, hero's daughter. My logic behind this, let me explain before anybody's like, "Oh my god, this he's on the crack."
We just lost like our only 2 followers.
Oh no way. All right, so listen to me. It was a 1-drop. That's important for green if you're using the Bardock Unison. That's already important. If you have a green Unison in play, when this card is played, draw a card. So anytime Bardock's up, you play a card. Most of the green cards don't actually have effects on play when you play them. They're like mediocre cards. Now I get to draw a card and then rip a card out of your hand. So I'm facilitating Bardock well from set 10. But also it being a 1-drop blocker, if SS4 Vegeta is the deck that we think it is, I need 1-drop blockers because I need this Vegeta not to hit me. Because then I'm making the match like even. So I think that this card is the best green card outside of Dark Broly Unison. Obviously, I want Dark Broly Unisons, but this Videl, I think it's huge in that aspect that it works with your Bardock, and then it also is a counter to the Vegeta SS4 Vegeta deck. Because I think you have to build your deck moving forward in this format with respect to SS4 Vegeta. You may look at the deck.
Absolutely.
You think the deck's not that great or whatever. Sure.
The ceiling's too high.
The ceiling is unreal. Like, I mean, you get Android 17, turning the tide on turn 4, and you just lose, right? I mean, there's not many decks that could come back from that happening to them. And a lot of them are green decks because green uses its drop. So this card's going to take my drop away from me. I need to protect myself. So I think this is the best protection we got outside of the free Gohan blocker that also exists. But those two cards together, they both work with the Bardock. I'm sold on Videl.
Okay.
Shout out to Trevor for putting me onto this Videl because I didn't even realize it existed.
There we go. Well, I have no objections because I'm not high on green either. It does make me sad because green has some of my favorite art.
I said, I have Ribrian, I have Zarbon, I have all these amazing cards that are green. I was like, man, I don't think I'm playing this set.
And the SPR Vegeta
Oof.
looks amazing. Now, I know you said you don't think it looks as good in person.
It does not look good for us. This card is catching all the buzz online. Everybody's like, oh, I need a copy of this. I need a playset of that. That SPR Vegeta does not look that good in person. It looks so much better on the Dragon Ball Super page. Like, I was like, damn, that's the best looking card they've ever made. And now I'm looking at it like, it's okay. It might be because a lot of the SPR, there's 10 SPRs. The Unison ones, most of them look terrible this set. Like like the Super Baby, the Gotenks. These cards look awful. Like Dark Broly looks good, but the rest of them look terrible. So we're not going to talk.
I'm not even that much of a fan of Dark Broly, to be honest.
It's okay. I like it a lot because I like that extra foiling and stuff on it, but it's not. It looks so much better than the SR. The SR looks god awful.
Oh yeah, I'll agree with that.
But the SRs, they got the SPR treatment. I mean, they look good. They look real good. And I mean, when I look at that Vegeta, I'm like, ugh, you might be in 4th place at best. The only thing you might be better than is SS4 Vegeta. But I love SS4 Vegeta, so I will not put it above SS4 Vegeta in like looks wise. But like the Gogeta looks insane, like in person, like that. The way the black and everything hits on it, crazy. Garlic Jr., I like that negative zone look on it. So, and then the Bardock, the black Bardock, oof.
Oh, bro.
That's beautiful.
I love that one.
Yeah,
I need that. I'm mad it's so expensive already.
I was like, this card looks so good. So, that green Vegeta don't look very good. You guys will see, though, this weekend. You'll be like, oh, man, this doesn't look as good as it looked online. Remember, you heard it here first. let's move on to yellow.
All
I
right.
start with yellow,
Yep,
right?
Yep, you start with yellow.
All right, so there's multiple archetypes in yellow this time, which is very interesting because, the SR that I'm about to say, it doesn't even have a leader in this set. I was like, man, this is out of left field when they showed it. I was like, what? But I'm gonna go with Eyes, the SR Eyes card.
How did we pick the same card again, bro?
Great minds think alike, they say, right? That's the expression?
We did not go over these before the podcast.
We did not at all. And me and Jimmy play completely differently also.
We do.
So this is definitely we just think these cards are good. Shinron the Cryomancer. It's a 2-drop. Counterplay, if your leader is mono yellow, play this card, and the card being played is in Resima. So it's a Crusher Ball for 2 with the 15k body. That's mediocre. But activate main 1 yellow, discard this card from your hand, play up to 1 Shadow Dragon card with an energy cost of 1 from your deck with the skills negated for the turn, then shuffle your deck. That right there, sold.
It's broken.
Sin Shinron's only problem to me was if I didn't open the Sin Shinron Dragon Ball. I was like, damn, I didn't open the ball.
And this deck did not need that by any means.
It did not. Like, now you just made this deck way too consistent. So, like,
It's going to be in every tournament.
it should top every event at this point. They got this card that negates skills when they play it. It's a 30k revenge blocker, pay 6 energy card. And the thing is, this card just made it easier for them to play the rest of the cards that came out in this set. Or if they don't want to play these cards in the set, it made it easier for them to include other cards. Simply because now the Haze Ball is searchable and Sin Shinron's Ball is searchable. Because like the Haze Ball, I don't like it. I mean, you're going to go from 1 to the 3 to the 4 for sure. But how often do you want to do it? It's not something that I really want to do. So I could cut the Haze Ball down to 2. I could cut the 3 down to 2. I'm still going to play 4 Haze, though, 4 drops. That card's incredible. But this card makes it easier to move the deck along. So, and it's another name for the Activate 6 effect. So
It's insane.
I'm sold on this card.
Yeah. Oh, man. I couldn't believe they printed this. I did not ever think that they would do something for that deck like this.
Yeah, I said, it was guaranteed to get 3 sets of cards. So you get 3 sets of cards, and they got a SCR promo card. I said, there's no way they have an SR ever coming to them because the leader's already made, and then it's just like they plugged it into the set. But they got an SR, and it's a good one.
Man, I didn't even have a backup ready. I did not think you were going to pick it.
Oh, I had a backup ready. So you want me to go again? Twice?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna go off a little bit from what we're doing, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say that overall, just the support for the Garlic Jr. deck, the cards that go in it, I think that deck can be strong.
Okay.
So if I had to do a backup, because I'm looking through the cards as we're talking, and I've looked through them before. I haven't tested the deck, but just reading what they do, it seems like it can be pretty aggressive and very tempo driven, and it can really drive the pace of the game. And a lot of them like replace themselves or have secondary effect on play, and they cost 1. So
yeah,
it seems pretty strong.
I do think that there's something there. Someone's gonna figure it out.
Yeah, I don't think it seems like super overpowered, at least not off the bat.
No. It seems like a decent like tempo based deck.
Yeah,
can get aggressive if it needs to.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's strong. So I'll just go ahead and say just the support is there. I like that a lot for yellow and leave it at that because I don't think anything comes close to Ice Shinron.
No, nothing comes that close. But I do need to have worst card. Worst card. This SR's Piccolo Demonic Transformation. Oh my god! Why did they print this? This was a waste of an SR slot. I saw this card when I opened it, and let me tell you, I opened like 11 of them today. I felt disrespected. I said this was not my day. I should have not opened these 2 cases. I should have opened some other ones. But it doesn't do anything. I would never play this card. It's literally Crusher Ball. It's not a Crusher Ball. It's negate this card's effect 4 and under for 2. I'm not playing this card. This is a worse Cold Bloodlust. It's a worse version of any card that's negating skills that we got these days. I'm out on this card. If you get them and someone wants them, move them fast. There's no way this card's worth anything down the road.
Yeah, you have 0 objections from me there.
All right.
I don't think you will from anyone.
Moving on to black.
Okay. I get to start this one.
You do.
So you can't take mine. So mine for this, I don't think is anything too surprising. We've got SS Bardock the Tenacious. He is the 6-drop, Overrealm 6. You tap 1, and when he's played using Overrealm, your opponent can only attack with battle cards once during their next turn.
Okay. I like that.
That's insane.
It is insane. It's literally Nimbus in the Overrealm deck with the 25k body.
I will say it was very hard to pick this over the others because I like most of the Overrealms coming out this set.
Yeah.
And I love Vegeks, and they run perfectly with Vegeks. Like, you mill your 5. If you have your Unison on board, you pitch your 1, and there's your 6 and drop. It's assuming, if you didn't play any, but hey, that means if you whiff, you have a free Overrealm to play.
That's right.
So at this point, the deck just becomes so much more consistent. Because if you hit, cool, I hit, and now I'm swinging with whatever cards I hit with. If I didn't hit, I literally pitch my 1 for Go Tanks, and I go. And even if I hit 1, I just combo a card, right?
Yeah, just combo 1 off. It's fine.
Exactly. So I think this set 11 definitely changes what Vegeks looks like for a lot of people. I think it becomes an Overrealm deck, and I think it's going to be insanely powerful.
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose a non-Overrealm card here.
Okay.
Dark Broly, the Demon Realm Ravager. I had read 0 Dark Broly cards going into today. And then I was hanging out with Chris, and he's like, hey, man, this card's crazy. I'm like, it looks cool. It definitely does look cool. It's a 6-drop. 0+0. Like, I was not feeling this Dark Broly thing because all the cards were 0+0. I did not know the backside on the leader says you can get rid of your 6 drops or your battle cards to gain 5K. I had no idea it said that. So I just completely overlooked. I messed up on that one. So this card actually is a 0+5K essentially. It's like you get Warp 6, you play it, you warp a card in their drop and a card in their hand. I was like, hold on now. That can't be right. Because in this format, we have people playing Yellow Apes, relying on Yellow Apes. Yellow Apes are no good against this card. And taking a card to your hand. So really, I just stole 3 cards from you.
Right.
And I played this card for free. I'm like, oh, this card's good. And then if the Dark Broly deck is halfway decent, this card's got to be a 4 of. So I like this card a lot. It's a 30K. I've never had 30Ks attacking me outside of Kidku. So I'm curious. And these 30Ks are free, unlike Kidku, where they paid 2 for a 30K, right? Like, what was a very good strategy at one point in this game. Now I'm curious, is the free 30K good enough to just win games? I'm thinking it is. But, we're going to test it out this week and see. We'll have more results on that next week.
Yeah, I'm not as high on it, so we'll see. I don't know. I've seen it. I've watched people play the deck online, and it's cool. I think it'll steamroll random decks in the format like it's no tomorrow. But the fact that they're all just, I don't know. You just have this 30K body. It's strong, but I feel like there's just way more powerful things I can do. And if I'm playing black, I'm just playing Vegeks, bro.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? I have been saying the same thing, too. If I'm playing black, I'm just playing Vegeks. Like, burst 5, draw,
right.
All right, that's way too good. But I do get the concept of Dark Broly because it's not a burst deck. It's something else. So, it's
sure.
So it's not really...
It's different.
It's different. So
it is different. I'll give you that.
And I've played a lot of players in this game all over the place. Chris is one of the few players who has a positive record against me. Like, I'm like, oh my God. Like, he beats me a lot of times with these crazy decks. Like, so I normally, when he talks about something, I tune my ear to it. I'm like, okay, I need to look at this because I've never seen him play anything that wasn't, good. It's normally under the radar. Because he played Trader Dende before Trader Dende was popular,
and he's still playing Trader Dende.
He keeps it sleeved up. That's his deck, favorite deck. But he's always playing these under the radar decks. He sees these cards. He's like, okay, these cards they do this. He figures it out. He's a real smart guy, man. One of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. So I trust him when he says things to me. So now I'm interested in seeing how it tests. I'm not saying I'm going to play it, but I'm interested. And reading that card, once I read it, I was like, oh, that's pretty good. Because that's a crazy way to start a game. If let's say they're playing Set 10 Goku, they mill a Goku, a Zarbon, and some other stuff, and they pass. And you're just like, all right, well, get rid of that Zarbon and get rid of that card in your hand.
Exactly.
That's pretty good. So I want to see.
I'm not against it. I'm just not as high on it. One of my runner-ups, though, was the Haru Haru.
Oh, that card's nuts.
That card's insane. I need my fulls immediately.
I'm trying to figure out why they printed that. That Haru Haru is a 1-drop 15K double striker as long as you have a Unison. Well, all you blacks Unisons cost 1 or free. So,
right.
Sure.
Yeah, that card. I love it.
I say I am.
They might have banned Bibbidi, but Vegeks is definitely
still around, still
around, getting powered up.
I mean, we just saw one of the Hill twins literally crush the 1K and crush the online tournament the past 2 weekends playing Vegeks.
Right.
And the 1K was under the errata.
Under the errata, that's
So like,
exactly.
I was like, when he was killing it with the errata, I said, "Oh my god, this deck is still up and alive."
Oh yeah.
So we can't write that deck. I know everybody wants to write it off, but you just can't.
Nope.
It's probably still top 3 decks in the format. Like I'm gonna go ahead and say it's number 1 just because I got to pay respect to it going into the format. And the history of this game is whatever the number 1 deck in the format is, it normally is the number 1 deck for anywhere from 6 to 9 months. Vegeks ain't had 6 months yet, so I'm not gonna write it off yet.
You're not wrong. We had Broly, we had Shenron,
Hirudegarn,
Tricolor Ginyu, all the way back at the start.
Janemba, SS3 had its time once they got rid of Mecha Frieza. Like it was just SS3 mirrors all the time. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's people say, this game, all the meta changes so much. The things that aren't the best change so much, sure, but the best just adapts. So
Yep.
I'm sure, and Vegeks has a lot of tools. I mean, it has every black card in the book. It even has the Mono Saiyan black cards.
Also, I will say, if Vegeks is real and it does turn into an Overrealm deck, right? Pay attention to the price on Tag Team Gohans.
Oh yeah, because
the Overrealm triggers the Tag Team Gohan.
Mm-hmm. And that card was $1 gazillion. And remember, when Vegeks was first shown, everybody was like paying all types of cash. Like I think it got up to 150 at one point.
Yeah, when that card was a staple, the highest it got, I believe, was 150.
So
and there were people that paid it. That's the great. It wasn't like some idiot just waited for the buyout, but like there's people who paid that price for that card.
Yeah. I think Shawn paid hundreds for his.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
crazy.
That is crazy.
I paid 40s for mine, which is still expensive, but not terrible.
Not terrible. Like now it's what 20, 25 last time I checked.
Yep.
That is the card to pick up right now.
Yes.
Actually, because I could definitely see that working its way right back into Vegeks.
Oh, it's in my list for sure.
I'm like, it's gonna slide in there, and people will be like, "Damn, I need these."
Well, I mean, because think about the deck. I mean, now you've got the 1-drop Haruharus, and you have a 1-drop Double Striker on top of already your free plays. You got the Unison, the Vegeta, the Trunks, and the Kai. You've got also now all of your 6 Overrealms.
Yep, 6 Overrealms, and then you still have the Vegeks cards.
And you have the Vegeks cards. I mean, at this point, the deck just seems so consistent. Like, because there's definitely times in the current iteration of Vegeks where I'll just like whiff so hard. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, and it means a better turn is ahead. But if I'm playing against like some crazy deck that's super fast, or there's certain matchups where I'm like, bro, I got to hit. Or like if I'm playing Invoker, I'm like, yo, I need these cards on the board. I need to swing at your face right now. And when you don't hit that, it feels terrible.
And you're going to have Invoker still around because it's been crushing it in tournaments still. And, I don't see anything that pushes that style of deck out of play yet either.
So I think this is huge for the deck. I think the only sketchy part is if you do have cards that interact with your drop, I guess. Like if you have like Fu Mission Accomplished, it's probably getting warped more often than not.
Yeah, but I mean, I believe that people should start playing Goku making an entrance.
And you can put it back in.
Put it back in.
Yeah.
You just put the card back. And like, because you play into the Xeno Goku that puts 5 back, I believe, or 4 or 5. I don't know. Puts a hefty number back.
Yeah.
So if I'm overwhelming, I don't want to mill out the game for my leader effect. I just use this cards and it just works. And I remember at one point people were trying Gravy in the deck when it first came out because they wanted to play like real heavy overround. They were playing Gravy so they could put 3 back.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
I had that in my first ever Vegeks list.
Yeah, so
it was the first card to get cut.
So I think we'll see Overrealm like worked its way, and it's already in there with the Trunks that plays the Power Booster Vegeta. That's already in there,
right.
And I mean that's strong. But I could definitely see people going away from that just because some of these other strategies may make it where that's not that great. So
yeah, I mean, I think I always had the take that when Vegeks first came out, that strategy was terrible.
Yeah, I didn't like it when it first came out.
I don't think the format allowed for it. I think it made the deck way too fragile, and it also was way too inconsistent.
Yeah, I didn't like it at first. I like it now.
Now I play it. It's great. You have to play it, I think.
I'm all about it now. But when you had U3 in the deck, I said, why would I ever play
there's just no point. Why am I going to take 2 of my own life? I'm just going to take your life. I'm going to play this damn card for free, and I'm going to take more of your life.
I'm going to play multiple cards for free and just give it to you.
Exactly.
So
there's just no reason to put yourself in danger. You sit there at 6 life the whole game sometimes.
Yeah, sadly. But
all right, well, I guess we have already started talking about decks, so why don't you say your pick for best deck of set 11?
Best deck out of set 11, like the decks that come out of it.
Like no, I mean like the whole format.
Everything. Oh man, best deck. I think the best deck is Sin Shinron. I would have to say I think Sin Shinron with eyes, being yellow, having answers to Invoker, just already has a pretty good matchup against Vegeks. Vegeks like would steal games from it with Bibbidi, but we know there's no Bibbidi now, so we're not stealing anything here. I'm a big fan of Sin Shenron moving forward. I think it's the best deck. You know, not to insult players or anything. People are dumb, so you know, Sin Shenron against dumb players is free. Like, you know, people who play the best, like, what they deem the best deck, Sin Shenron just takes that away. Like, you have to be a very good player to beat Sin Shenron. You have to sequence correctly. You have to do everything correctly, right? And still hope that you don't come on the bottom, because this deck can Xeno sell you out of nowhere. Like, it's like, oh, I paid 6, I had 1 million attacks. Oh, guess what? Xeno sell. This is a game. Like, I think that deck's crazy. Mecha Kubora is such a powerful unison. I still think it's in the top 3 unisons in the game. So I'm gonna go Sin Shenron as the best deck of the format.
Yeah, that is not my pick, so at least we weren't the same there. But I think it is one of the best. I think it's hard to pick one ultimate top deck because everything has a bad matchup. But if you're talking about best deck, the thing that I think of is, what do you have, like, the best spread, right? So when I had contenders, Sin Shenron was up there, Invoker was up there, because I think they just naturally have so many defensive options built in that it's just so easy.
So easy for people to make the mistakes. It's just so easy to steamroll other strategies because their strategy is just superior.
Yep. Invoker, I believe, takes a lot more skill to play than Sin Shenron, and it's much easier to misplay. I think your misplays in Invoker are much more painful and potentially game-losing, whereas Sin Shenron, you can probably make small misplays and you're still all right because you have this 90k revenge blocker that literally just kills everything in sight.
Giant blocker. The Haze Shenron just in your hand is absurd. Yeah. They're like, combo up, do all this. You're like, all right, Haze. You're like, all right, that was cool. So they have Shigesh Kidku in their deck. Like that's banned, right? Like they have a banned combo in their deck pretty much.
And they have Zarbon to make it infinite. You just keep doing the combo.
Yeah, they got the block with the Zarbon. It's a lot going on over there. And I'm just like, man, I don't think too many decks can. You got to be very smart and on your toes when playing against that deck. Like, you got to make them block where they shouldn't block. And then even they don't get punished because all the stuff just untaps. I'm like, oh, and they get the Zamasu super combo. They have the ability to tap you down. They can play Putine messing with you. They have Bergamo if they feel like playing Bergamo in their deck. They have so many cards. It like blows my mind constantly when I watch people play this deck, and I'm like, damn, there's no way this guy was going to win the game at all. Like, and they can establish 2 Sin Shenron 9-drops by the end of turn 3. Who's getting through that?
It's so hard. I had to play against Sin Shenron in the last tournament I was in online, and it was Aiden. I don't remember his last name. He just topped another tournament with
Aiden Autry from Europe.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think it's probably Aiden Autry from Europe.
No, I don't think his last name was Autry. Oh. I don't know. He was a cool guy though, but man, that Sin Shenron, if you start off slow in Vegeks,
game over.
Steamrolls you. Yeah. No chance. No chance at all. I mean, it's good.
Flying Nimbus is back. Flying. People, they've been playing Flying Nimbus, but people were like, "Oh, I don't really care about Flying." Flying Nimbus is good now. Now we're talking about swap strategies and all this other stuff going on like that.
Oh, and speaking of that, right? Swap. The deck literally stops swap.
Yeah, you can't swap.
You can't swap. Sin Shenron turns off swap.
So you're just like, oh man, I guess my deck don't do nothing.
So that, yeah, and then so anyways, but yeah, Sin Shenron, great pick. I think Invoker would also be a great pick. We were testing Broly. We'll get more into that later. But at first glance, it started to seem really good, like up there for one of my picks. And then as we talked about it and tested it, it fell a little bit, but still very powerful. Yeah. I guess my pick's no surprise though. I'm going with my boy Vegeks.
Yeah, knew it.
We're rolling with Vegeks. I've been playing him since the starter dropped. I thought he was the best deck then. I did go through a little phase where I was confused and thought he sucked. That lasted a couple days, and then I was back on it. I think I was just salty that I milled bad a couple times. But no, Vegeks is the boy. We're staying with him. He lost Bibbidi, but we can draw 2 other super combo now.
Yeah, you got the other super combo, and that's also a Vegeta Xeno, which is interesting because if you play those Vegeks cards, you can use it in line.
Absolutely.
With those. So I said, oh, that's pretty cool. Like that definitely was like, it was good that they made it Vegeta Xeno instead of any other character.
I am a little salty though that they took away the one special super combo Black had and did not give us a new one.
You'll get it probably next.
I think next set we gotta get it.
Yeah.
If it's not next set, definitely the one after, because next set just might have already been ready to go.
Yeah, but you guys also got to counterplay this set that no other color got. So
yeah, we did.
So it's one of those things where I think like people always talk about how black gets a hard time, like gets done dirty.
Oh, I'm not saying that for sure,
Like,
but I still want my super.
Yeah.
I want my special super combo.
I feel you, but they have a lot going on over there. Like I don't, no other color has got a counterplay that something hammer, Wrathful Hammer, I believe it is.
I'll pull it up. I've got it right here. It is called. It's the 2-drop.
Yep.
And it's like Denial of Hope, right?
Yeah, it's just Denial of Hope with black, pretty much. Which is
Rebellion Hammer. You got the
Rebellion
SS4 Goku on it.
Yeah, Rebellion Hammer. Like, that's a pretty solid card. I don't know where it works its way into the meta, but as a card and being a tool you can use, which
Oh yeah,
that's
definitely a
what
tool.
that's what sideboards are for, right? That's a pretty good card to have.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I'm going with Vegeks. I think Vegeks also has a good spread.
Yeah, definitely has a good spread.
I think it has a great spread. I think there's just so many decks in the format that cannot keep up with it. It just overwhelms opponents.
Yeah, it's still the fastest deck. I don't think anything's fast.
Now, I will say though, if the format ends up being Sin and Invoker,
it's time to get off Vegeks.
it's time to get off Vegeks.
Definitely time to get off Vegeks.
There's people who say that it has a good matchup against Invoker. I don't think it does. I think that for a very short period of time it may have, but Invoker has so many defensive tools at this point, and you can no longer just bibbity them out the game.
Yeah, like when you could bibbity him out the game, that was a completely different story. We're talking no bibbity. I don't see it. Like that deck all of a sudden has combo power. Like ever since they made Rival Seeker, now the deck just has combo power. And that's something that that was where the deck was hurting. It was like, oh, this deck has no combo power, so you can just take advantage of that.
Exactly.
The creation of Rival Seeker has given it combo power. And I mean, I don't know. I've seen Apexes on turn 5 get up to 125k. So I put nothing past the deck at this point.
Yeah. But I think all those are good picks. So anything else you want to talk about?
I do want to note that I've been talking about SS4 Vegeta for some time, and like I thought it was gonna be the best deck. I'm in the discussion group saying I think it's gonna be the best deck. I thought that. After today, looking at the spread of the cards, I think that it's the highest ceiling deck, but I definitely think that it can be game planned around by every color, every deck, which just makes it not the best deck, right?
I mean, all right, so let's say you're going to a tournament. You sleeve up SS4.
You're lucky if you make top 8.
Okay.
You're lucky. That means people didn't respect the deck. But if people respect the deck, which I expect every player who takes the game serious. When I say serious, I don't mean like it's their life. I mean want to win, right? Like their goal is to win, not necessarily like go have fun with the homies and have a good time. But they're like, oh, I want to play in this tournament and win. They're ready for SS4 Vegeta. They either are playing some form of a blocker or they have a lot of negates in their deck, one or the other. And some decks are going to say, well, I don't even care if you get 1 extra energy. You can get the 1. But if you can't get the second one, playing all these 7 and 6s in your deck, you're never going to get there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we're already dealing with every blue deck has an extra energy, right? Because
yeah,
Zeno.
Exactly. They're already dealing with it. So it's one of those things where, and then they just manage your Zeno. You're only 1 energy ahead, which blue decks have already been doing, and you have no perks like all the other blue leaders, like Zamasu, Soul Striker, Vegito. You don't have those perks like they have. So you're in a worse spot. So I think it's the highest ceiling blue deck, but it is the worst blue leader out of all of them, probably.
I agree with that. All right. Well, let's get into our testing for the week.
Results of training.
Woo! These are sweet.
I do like them. I think of some more that we can do also, but I do like them a lot. But on to our testing for the week.
Yeah.
We were actually playing Broly versus Vegeks the other day, Saturday, I believe.
Yep.
And I didn't think Broly could hang.
Trevor's in the corner shaking his head.
Yeah, Trevor was just Trevor's proxy list. It wasn't perfect, obviously, it's just testing, so you can't expect perfection. I'm sure somebody out there has figured out like some cool cards or some good cards to put in their red Broly deck. But we were working with a stock list and like plugging other just solid red cards in the deck, right? And I just couldn't hang with Vegeks. And the first 2 turns is like even trading, but over time you just lose because you have no negates. Like you cannot stop anything Vegeks is doing. So it was bad. And then once I was like, okay, well, I'll put Topo in. Now I'm not playing my deck strategy, and that felt bad. I was like, oh, I'm not swapping up the chain. I don't like this. Because the problem is the cards have Servant. If they did not have Servant, I think that it'd be fine. But the cards that do have Servant, so once you attack one time, they're done. And I'm like, oh, that's not good at all. And, I mean, they're easy to kill. Like, you don't have combo power in this deck. Like, yes, you have combo power. Everything's like 0 plus 5k for the most part. But you don't have combo power because you need the pieces.
Right.
So if I need,
exactly.
I don't want to combo my pieces away. trying to protect my swap pieces to swap into the card I just comboed away. It's a lot going on. I do think the deck is powerful. I think that it's going to roll a lot of decks. Like, I think that your control decks are going to have a hard time with it because they don't move fast enough, and this is ripping cards out your hand and attacking you a lot of times.
The card ripping was a lot more impactful than I felt like it was going to be because I was like, I mean, I can get the cards back.
Yeah.
But the way that deck runs, when it rips those cards and then it swings to your face with those huge Brolys that are crit, oh, it feels terrible.
It feels terrible. I say, like, and the thing is like, forcing hit was a staple for red decks. Like, not even like anything that played red, you played foreseeing hit back in the day. This is better than foreseeing hit. These are multiple times. This is like foreseeing hit with critical and dual attack.
Oh yeah,
so
it felt nuts. I mean, it is one of few. I felt more pressure than I feel against most decks playing against it as Vegeks, and I didn't know entirely everything that it did, so I was playing a little more hesitant. But I mean, it was a lot of pressure to deal with, and ultimately, I don't think it ever dropped a game though.
No,
Vegeks ever dropped a game to Broly.
You got down to 2 one time.
Whether on the play, on the draw. There was one time I was down to 2, but my problem is it's the same thing you said. The defense just sucks. Yeah. Like at one point when you played me, you swung into my Mass Saiyan. You were trying hard to clear that.
Yeah, had to get out of it.
You were throwing everything you had at it. I literally wasted all my resources saving this card because if I keep it, I just win. Like it was auto win next turn if I keep it. So
yeah, because the deck goes down to 4, so you take yourself to 4
and against Vegeks,
and you can't clear that Mass Saiyan, the one that crits 2 life and then warps one of your opponents. You can't clear that. You're just dying to these cards. It is a bad feeling.
So you ended up. It took every card out of my hand between the Brolys and me comboing out of the Black Mass Saiyan. You cleared my board. You cleared my Unison, my Vegeta, and your very last swing, I had no cards in my hand, and it cleared the Black Mass Saiyan. Yeah. The problem was, when you did all that, there goes literally all your defense. Because you spent all your defense trying to combo into my Mass Saiyan to kill it. Yeah. I drew 1 card. I play a free card.
Just kill me.
And I kill you.
Yeah.
And that was it. I literally killed you going into a turn with no cards on board and no cards in my hand. And that's when I was like, okay. This deck can't be the best. There's no way.
It's good for sure. I definitely deem it as good, but I can't be. Also, it's unplayable on release. Like you can't play it. Nobody's gonna have the TPs on release because that's how it works. There's no way on release day you have TPs. So that PPG tournament, that 1K in Jersey they're throwing again for the month of October, and the case tournament down here in Virginia Beach, no one's gonna have them unless they got like a hookup. Sure, but that's not. I'm not prepping for the guy who's got the hookup. I'm prepping for the deck in the form that we know what it's going to be. It's just not good enough. You can't ever get 2 Broly chains started at one time without the TP, thus meaning unplayable on release.
Yeah.
Definitely playable once your stores or however your store is going to distribute TPs, sure. But without it, you can't. It's not playable. So that sucks. And then we played some more Green Frieza. We just keep playing with these Green Frieza decks, and
we just have the cards. How can you not play the deck when you have 4 Metacoolers, 4 Zarbon, 4 Ginyu?
You just want to get in there, right?
But it took like my whole fucking paycheck.
I did not take your whole paycheck out of here. But
it felt like it.
It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, we played it. It's fine. It does the same thing every time. I actually do not believe that deck is going to be relevant moving forward. I can't think of a matchup that I like. Oh, Green Frieza better.
Broly was smacking it.
Broly smacked it. I've been playing Surge Cell against it, smacking it. Like, it just loses to...
Oh, yeah, you were playing Surge Cell.
Yeah, I played... I'm going to get to that, but, I don't think that it's playable moving forward. Like, set 11 on, if you are owner of this deck, you need to go ahead and invest in the Maiden package, probably, and a set 10 Goku leader, if you want to play hand control. You have to get off of the whole, I want to play Green Frieza leader. It's not good anymore. It had its moment. Healing Pod's a dope card. When you don't open a Healing Pod, you lose. And even now, opening a Healing Pod does not ensure a victory, which means this is unplayable because you have no real threats. I tried, not during with Jimmy, but I tried earlier in the week. I tried to put the Maiden package in the deck because, the deck restricts you from having Saiyans. So I tried to put the Maiden package in to see if it was even doable. It was doable. It wasn't good, though. So I was like, Goku just does this a million times better. So you're better off playing with Goku.
That's my problem too with all this green stuff in set 11. I'm like, what green stuff am I playing that's better than the green stuff we already have? That most of the green stuff is already losing. I'm like,
none of it. Like the new Gotenk stuff, not good enough to be worth
and
playing.
it sucks because I love green cards.
Yeah, I think
Green's always been one of my favorites.
I fell in love with green when I saw Cell. So yeah, I like green also for a long time. It's just
I loved green since, well, I guess set 1, King Vegeta Surprise Attack.
they screwed that card.
Yeah, they did. But before getting screwed,
Real good.
oh baby.
But so we played that deck. I played Surge Cell. I worked on my list a little bit for Surge Cell. I cut the healing pod nonsense out the deck. I was like, this has got to be good. And Surge Cell killed it on the online tournaments this past week. It won one of the tournaments, and then it had another one make top 16. So I was like, damn.
Very popular. Out of nowhere. I didn't think it would be popular.
Yeah, format didn't even technically slow down because Vegeks was at full power, but people are just stopped playing Vegeks like that.
Right.
Because, they want to move on, and now here the deck is. It's a pretty solid deck. That Crusher Ball effect to the field is pretty insane, along with 9-drop Cell. I don't know. That 9-drop Cell is not as good as 7-drop Cell from set 2. But damn, it's close. It's very close. So, I Surge Cell was good. Still struggles with aggro, but I mean, hey, you guys be weak against something. And then the other deck I was messing with was I did not actually play it against anybody, but I played against myself, which I do that a lot. I play against myself at the house. I would put my Golden Frieza U7 deck together.
Oh, you brought that back.
Yeah, I was messing with it because I kept telling Trevor when we were coming back from Jersey on the ferry, I was like, man, I think this is the only deck that could play the Vegeta Unison properly. So I was messing with it, and there's just not enough good red U7 cards, actually. That was the problem I was having. And I know I could play like Topo and FDC as my red cards, and that just makes up for that in that spot to a degree, but it does not feel good doing that. Like, I want to use my energy more efficiently than playing Topo. Like, FDC was fine to put in. Topo, the God Sealing Trunks card ruins Topo. So if I really need this Topo to resolve and they have God Sealing Trunks, I just lose. So I was trying to get away from playing cards like that. I'm still trying to get away from playing cards. Like, I don't think battle card negates like Topo are going to be great moving forward.
No, they're very, very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And they've always been vulnerable, but for some reason they weren't always exploited. But at this point, it's so much easier to exploit.
Yeah, say like every color has an answer at this point, right? So it's just like
everything.
You got like Denial of Hope, Hidden Power of the Saiyans, or Preemptive Strike, God Sealing Trunks. Black has Rebellion Hammer now. It's so many answers to this type of thing. Desperate Measures in blue. So like, and they already had God Sealing Trunks. So it's just so many things. I'm like, I can't play Topo in a deck that needs to survive turns. If I didn't need to survive turns, it's just nice. I would try it still. But that Golden Frieza deck definitely needs to survive turns because it takes too long. I want to play that Vegeta Unison on like turn 1, turn 2 if I got it. And I want to go into the big U7 Frieza that makes people take life when they activate effects. But I play. It was cool. It needs some more work. And that's why I said when people kept talking about that blue U7 Vegeta from Anniversary Box, I need to try that deck out because people are saying that is the better U7 Vegeta leader, the Vegeta Unison leader. So I'm gonna try it out this week. I should have some results for you guys next week on it.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
It's probably not a deck that I play like to be competitive. It's more of a deck that I'm gonna play to have fun. But I'm still interested though. I love using all my cards I have. You don't have all these cards for no reason.
Speaking of decks to play for fun, well, you already know I put together Oob again.
Oh yeah, he did play some Oob this week.
I did.
That is Jimmy's favorite. I was actually surprised when he did not choose 3-drop Vanilla Oob as his blue card of the set.
It was up there. It was definitely up there.
Had to be up there. 1, the card's beautiful. 2,
and it's Oob.
I was like, he's gonna pick this card. He's gonna pick it, and everybody's like, oh my god, what's this guy talking about? But he's a huge Oob fan though. I remember when he first saw Oob, he was like, oh, I want to play this. But he was unsure if it was good. And then we were in...
I got smacked by it.
We were in Atlantic City. He was playing Cell. And he was playing Cell against the Oob guy. I want to say it was Miguel, actually.
I think it was.
I want to say it was Miguel.
I think it was.
From El Topo Loco.
Yeah.
That's before I really knew him like that. But, and he just smacked Jimmy. Jimmy came over to me. It was like, I gotta play this deck. Came back and built it, and he's had it sleeved up ever since. It's still in its original sleeves. Those sleeves are so crusty, man.
Yeah, I do need to get some new sleeves, bro.
Like, it was like, man, he hasn't played this in a year at least. You can just tell. Like when you
man, that deck was so good though, because that was when Unyielding Trunks was still around, and oh man, and the whole Hercule Pan thing, that was a trap.
Yeah,
that was 100% a trap. It felt like you had to play it now. You just played so much pressure and aggression. You play all these little 1-drops. You draw a bunch of cards from the announcers, and then you drop your Goku Oob, and you just
game.
Go in there, bro.
And if it goes long, here's a Demigra.
Yep. Exact. Oh, man. Oh, Demigra in that deck was fire. But yeah, I did throw Oob back together, and I did go with the whole Videl Hercule Pan package. It's not my favorite, but if I'm on the play, which let's be real, if I'm playing Oob, I have to be on the play right now to go against any deck.
Yeah.
If I'm on the play, there isn't a whole lot that stops unless I'm playing green. They Demigra turn 1. Yeah. So I was like, I play Videl, and then on turn 2, I end with Hercule Pan. That's honestly still strong.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's really still strong. It's just, it just doesn't do enough. I played 5 games. I won 1.
You won against Shawn, right?
Yeah, I took 1 against Shawn. Yeah. He was playing...
Green Frieza.
Yeah, yeah.
He's always playing Green Frieza. Got to get him off of that.
Yep. But no, Oob is fun. If you want to have fun with the deck and just throw people off, play Oob. You'll probably lose a lot, but when you get that win, you'll hold on to it. You'll be proud of it.
I think Jackie Chun's probably the superior leader at this point.
Ooh, Jackie Chun's fun too. I just love World Martial Arts decks. I need them to revisit World Martial Arts. That's my number one thing I need Dragon Ball to do.
I think it's going to happen, actually. I think with this...
it's been a long time.
It's been a long time, but with this little theme booster thing that they got going on right here, I think we might see more World Martial Arts. The biggest crime against World Martial Arts art type is Krillin. Stormfist Krillin is not World Martial Arts.
Oh yeah, that's stupid.
They put that tag in the wrong spot. They put World Martial Arts era. Why is it not World Martial Arts trait? That was such a crime.
Terrible.
It screwed it, because that was the perfect leader for them. It was a self-awakening leader. It was blue. I was like, damn, this shit's about to be broken. It was not broken because you could not use it with those cards.
All right. We're going long. We're going to start wrapping this up. Let's finish it up with our last segment.
I got a special order on a pallet of sweets for Jocko.
Wait, aren't you Monaka?
Monaka's Delivery Service.
I like that.
Oh, man. I'm hype on that one. I think that's my favorite of all the new segment little clips.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So this week on Mailbag, we want to shout out Peter Rasmussen. He has been commenting on pretty much every time we post a podcast episode and messaged me talking about the podcast. And he had a lot of great things to say, so we appreciate you. And he left a review, but I couldn't read it. For whatever reason, I can't see it. So we're just going to shout you out. So thank you. And anyways, guys, I think that's it. Mike, any closing comments?
We're looking at doing a giveaway. It's starting next week. So look out for that. If you're into the Metal Leader thing, we're going to give away a Metal Leader, have a contest. So look out for that next week. Tune in. Nice. We'll have more details.
And if there's things that you want us to talk about, things you want us to go over, let us know. If you like the podcast, comment, leave us some reviews, and give us a follow.
Follow us on Facebook on Hermit Style Gaming.
Yep, Hermit Style Gaming on Facebook. We're everywhere you want to listen. So thanks for checking us out, and we'll see you next week.
Back every day, I got to shed this weight, I try whatever I